You clearly went to steal your brother's fake boyfriend for 5 million, only to find that the one you were supposed to conquer was your ex-boyfriend and boss. Late at night, you knocked on his door wearing his favorite bunny pajamas, but your wrist was suddenly seized by his burning hand. He pulled you into his arms and asked in a low, hoarse voice why you had left him without a word. You bit the bullet and asked to get back together. His ears turned red, but he snorted and refused. But when you actually turned to leave, he pulled you back and whispered, "Idiot." To resist being pressured into marriage, my brother brought a man home, pretending to be gay. My mom ordered me, "Go steal your brother's boyfriend. That's my ex-boyfriend. What's wrong with an ex-boyfriend? He's also my boss." "What's wrong with a boss?" "I'm not doing it," my mom calmly offered. "If you succeed, I'll give you 5 million and an apartment." I was silent for 3 seconds. Deal. In the middle of the night, I wore my ex-boyfriend's favorite bunny pajamas. I knocked on the guest room door. "Boss, are you sleeping well?" The door suddenly opened. My wrist was grabbed and I was pulled into a burning embrace. "No. As soon as I see you, an inexplicable fire ignites. I simply can't sleep. Tony, Grandma will take you to see a traditional Chinese doctor. Let's drink some herbal medicine to regulate your body. Tony, quickly drink this bowl of magic water from Grandpa. You'll be back to normal after drinking it." Tony, in high school, you cried like a boiling kettle because the girl you had a crush on wouldn't be your desk mate anymore. And now at 29, you're telling me, your mom, that you're gay? My brother, who was pressured into marriage every year, finally went crazy this year. He brought a man home for the Lantern Festival. At the dinner table, he righteously announced he was coming out. "You all wanted me to find a partner, didn't you?" "You didn't specify male or female. Now that I've brought someone back, you're unhappy again. I don't care. In this life, I'm going to be a family with him." The more he spoke, the more excited he got. His toast even changed to, "May the future couple have a happy marriage for 100 years. The family erupted in arguments. I said nothing, just kept eating my rice. Chew, chew, chew. Grandma's sweet and sour pork ribs were so delicious. Chew, chew, chew. The fish was so fresh. Chew, chew, chew. Garlic vermicelli shrimp. I hesitated. I pushed the shrimp towards the man across the table. He didn't pick up his chopsticks, his gaze fixed on me. I bit the bullet. "You eat." "Thank you," he said. He picked up a shrimp and slowly peeled it. His movements were fluid, his fingertips stained with sauce. The moment his knuckles bent, there was a clear casualness to it, yet it made people stare unconsciously. Luke Dawson, my ex-boyfriend, my boss, and the partner my brother brought home today. Maybe I shouldn't be here either. I should be in the kitchen, cooking myself a pack of Wanchai Ferry dumplings. My brother Tony's acting bug completely took over. He stood up, banging on the table. "I know none of you support me, but I don't care. I'm going to defend my love. I'm going to break through the shackles of convention." Then, he slammed the door and left. Leaving the whole family looking at each other, the scene once fell into an eerie silence. Mom stiffly turned her head. "Well, Luke, it's getting late. Do you have a place to stay? If not, you can stay here tonight." Grandma hadn't recovered from the shock. Grandpa was gesturing a formation. The whole family's awkwardness, the polite questions. Luke seemed completely oblivious. He put down his chopsticks and said calmly, "Okay, then I'll trouble you." His demeanor was composed, and he even slowly took a sip of soup. The house grew even quieter. Auntie was clearing the table, tidying up the dishes. Grandpa was flipping through his contacts, calling a Taoist priest to prepare for a ritual. Grandma shoved a hyaluronic acid milk carton, which no one in the family drank, into Luke's arms. "Drink this. It's good for your skin." I sat opposite Luke, secretly looking at my phone. Sis, just now was a desperate act to resist being pressured into marriage. Coming out is fake, and the person is a friend I asked to pretend. When I'm not around, please cooperate fully. You're not gay. Of course your brother is straight. Your friend. He's not gay either? No. I looked up at Luke. A black turtleneck covered his Adam's apple. His brows and eyes were indifferent. His long legs were crossed. One hand rested on the back of the chair, his knuckles slightly bent. With her other hand, she put the milk down, saying naturally, "Thank you, Grandma." In her mind, fragmented mosaic memories drifted by. Her nape was held, a breath close, a hoarse voice in a cold tone. "Don't hide." The suit jacket was pulled down to her elbows, resting on the contours of her abs, fingertips burning. The bedside lamp was on, illuminating the wrinkled sheets of varying shades. He pressed me against the edge of the bed with one knee, his gaze steady. "You said break up? Yes. Straight as an arrow. Definitely didn't seem like he'd bend. I can cooperate. 5,000. Deal. After taking the money, I looked up and met Luke's gaze. He subtly mouthed, "Pleasure working with you to me. Grandma, Mom, Grandpa." Luke uttered each title more naturally than the last. "The pipes at home burst, so we might have to trouble you for a few more days." "That's not good." Luke lowered his eyes. "If not, I'll just have to go live with Tony." "Stay! Stay! Stay! Welcome! Our home is always open to you." "That's good then." He nodded slightly. "Please take care of me for the next few days." Then, he slowly turned his head, a half smile playing on his lips. "Can I call you Jennifer? Like your brother does?" His cool voice became especially syrupy when he said, "Jennifer," with a challenge and teasing that only the two of us understood. Just like when we were dating, he would always call me by my full name, Jennifer Delaney. Jennifer Delaney. Only sometimes, like now, Jennifer? Cough, 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 cough. I couldn't help but cough violently. "Luke, just call her Jennifer." Mom pulled me into the room. "Jennifer, Mom has something to tell you." Mom's face was serious. "You? Go poach your brother's girlfriend. You want me to poach my brother's girlfriend?" "Yes. Didn't you hear what your brother said? Something about it has to be her in this life, then let your brother stay single." "This is unethical." Mom held up a finger. 1,000,000. You don't know. Luke is my boss. "I'm not really asking you to be with him. Just to make him fall for you, and then leave your brother. 2,000,000. I took a deep breath. He's also my ex-boyfriend. An ex-boyfriend makes it even easier. My daughter is so beautiful. Aren't you afraid he'll come straight back? 3,000,000. I won't do it." Mom calmly continued to bid. 5,000,000. The only house left for your brother will also be yours. I was silent for 3 seconds. Deal. In college, I had already conquered Luke once. At that time, I pursued him for 3 months and plucked that noble high mountain flower. Back then, he was aloof and indifferent, ordering only salad and black coffee. He was used to being alone, giving off an aura of "do not approach." Only I knew. When eating fried chicken, he would theatrically put on disposable gloves and, citing health, peel off the skin from my portion. Then, when I wasn't looking, he'd secretly eat it all. He always drank his coffee black. As a result, he'd drink my 7/10 sweet cheese berry drink until not a drop was left. Also, before he was Mr. Luke, just like every CEO named Dawson in the world, he had a sensitive stomach. I knew him so well. Wouldn't it be a piece of cake to win him over again? Snatching the hyaluronic acid milk from his arms, I turned and went into the kitchen. A few minutes later, I brought out a cup of warm red date and goji berry water and handed it to him. The temperature was just right. The goji berries were soft and mushy, and the red dates were slightly sweet. "Grandma, he's lactose intolerant. He can't drink milk. He likes gray, Auntie. Please change the guest room bedding to gray. He has trouble falling asleep." "Grandpa, lend him one of your success books from your room. He'll flip through a few pages before bed and sleep like a baby." Everyone was dumbfounded. "Jennifer, how do you know so much?" My gaze flickered. Oh, of course my brother told me. Grandma and Grandpa were even more despairing. Tony really is head over heels. And I secretly looked at Luke. I had done so much. He must be incredibly touched. Falling in love with me would be effortless. Huh? Luke didn't even lift an eyelid, his face showing no emotion. He simply reached for the cup unhurriedly. His long fingers traced the rim of the cup, caressing it for a moment. Only then did he lift the cup to his lips. The scalding liquid was swallowed little by little as his Adam's apple subtly bobbed. He drank very slowly, as if savoring it, or perhaps deliberately stalling for time. Not until the last drop of goji berry water was gone. His thumb brushed the rim of the cup, and he set it down. He tilted his head slightly, his eyes dark and deep as he looked at me. "Jennifer, you're really a good person." Shouldn't Luke be so touched that he wants to reconcile with me? What's with giving me the good person card? This strategy won't work. I can only pull out the big guns. Late at night, the house fell silent. Only the ticking of the living room clock could be heard. Hugging the fried chicken I had just ordered, I rummaged through boxes and cabinets, finally unearthing his favorite from college, the bunny pajamas. Pure, white, hooded, fluffy pajamas, with 2 floppy bunny ears on the hood. The words, "Love Rabbit," were crookedly printed on the chest. A pink, fluffy tail was positioned at the back. Cute, innocent, harmless, and the clear stupidity unique to college students. Back then, Luke loved to see me wear these. I sealed the fried chicken bag tightly, trying to make sure not a single wisp of its aroma escaped, letting it all be absorbed by the bunny pajamas. I refused to believe that fried chicken couldn't win him over. Wrapped in fried chicken, I shuffled in my fluffy slippers. I tiptoed to the guest room door. I raised my hand and knocked. "Boss, are you resting well?" There was no immediate response. I checked the time again. Exactly midnight. There was no way Luke would be asleep this early. After a moment of hesitation, I knocked again. Knock, knock. The door was pulled open without warning. A hand suddenly gripped my wrist. The force wasn't heavy, but the heat was alarmingly intense. The next second, I was pulled into a firm, scorching embrace. My back hit the door, and my breath was completely cut off. I froze, the fried chicken in my arms nearly falling to the floor. Luke's gaze was cast low, and he was breathing slightly. He seemed to be trying hard to suppress something, and there was still a lingering weariness in his eyes. His emotions were clearly off. "Not good." He stared at me, his voice low and hoarse, squeezing out each word. "The moment I see you, an inexplicable anger. I simply can't sleep." The hood of the bunny pajamas drooped, and I looked up at him. The heavy scent of pine filled my nostrils, so familiar it made me uneasy. Too close. Even closer than I remembered before. I could even feel his breath on my eyelashes, but he showed no sign of backing away. After a long while, he lowered his head, his gaze fixed on my wrist. "Jennifer, why did you abandon me back then?" But he didn't leave me any room to answer. "A cliff-edge breakup, going abroad without a word. Were you just tired of playing with me?" Luke re-gripped my wrist. His thumb traced upwards along my wrist, slowly and forcefully tightening. He guided my hand towards him. "What did I not satisfy you with?" "Here, or here." I instinctively tried to pull back, but my face bumped into his chest again. His warm body heat pressed against my skin through the fabric. My breath hitched. Damn it. Didn't Auntie prepare him winter pajamas? Who allowed him to wear something so thin? "You remember I can't drink milk. You remember what colors I like. You remember I have trouble sleeping. And then you knock on my door in the middle of the night. Jennifer, what exactly are you doing?" His chest rose and fell slowly. I blurted out, I'm trying to win you over. "Luke, let's get back together." The air in the room stilled for a moment. Luke's eyelashes fluttered. Then he blinked, and a faint blush appeared on the tips of his ears. After a long time, he snorted coldly. "What makes you think I, Luke, would get back together with an ex-girlfriend who dumped me once?" "Oh, then never mind. There'll be plenty of time to win him over." I wasn't expecting to win 5 million in one night anyway. "That's it? Aren't you going to try a little harder?" "I can't force you, can I? Force my love on you." Luke's gaze was inexplicably complex. "How do you know it won't work if you don't try?" "No? No? If I really tried, you'd definitely be so angry your whole body would stiffen." Visibly. Luke's brows furrowed even deeper. I was relieved that I hadn't really tried. Meanwhile, in the gradually loosening embrace, I reached into my bunny pajamas. "Jennifer, what are you doing?" "Even so, I won't agree," accompanied by increasingly erratic breathing. I finally pulled out the bag hidden in my pajamas. "What's this?" "Fried chicken. Your favorite boneless fried chicken. A mix of sweet and spicy sauce and honey mustard sauce. Hurry. Eat it while it's hot." Luke twitched the corner of his mouth. After a few deep breaths, he murmured, "Wood." "What?" He took the bag, and his other hand tapped the top of my head. The moment his fingertips landed, his voice held a hint of helpless hoarseness. "Idiot." The next day, the whole family went to burn incense and worship Buddha early. Even Auntie was dragged along. There wasn't even a shadow of cooking in the kitchen. Walking into the living room, Luke was leaning on the sofa. His bangs were slightly damp, his cuffs were loose, revealing his slender wrists. As I approached, his half-closed eyelids trembled slightly. His cheeks were abnormally red. Perhaps it was because his pajamas were too thin last night. He had caught a cold and had a fever. "Do you want to take time off?" His voice was slightly hoarse. I was stunned. Luke, a workaholic, actually willing to take time off? What a great opportunity. Being sick is the best time to boost favorability. I decisively took time off for myself, too. The whole morning, I revolved around Luke. Warm water, towels, fever patches, porridge. The whole process was clearly arranged. Luke, with his eyes half closed and a pale face, still refused to completely relax. Occasionally, he would turn his head, trying to avoid the towel I offered. I gently pressed his forehead, my fingertips brushing his brow bone. He bit his lip and didn't dodge again. The congee was ready. I scooped a spoonful and brought it to his lips. "I'll eat it myself. If you don't agree, I'll feed you with my mouth." Luke frowned slightly. Finally, he lowered his head, took the spoon, and swallowed slowly. After swallowing the last bite, His voice was hoarse. Why are you taking care of me? Because I'm responsible for you. Cough, cough, cough. He was so shocked he choked. He turned his head sharply, coughing, the corners of his eyes slightly red, as if in disbelief. I patted his back gently, helping him catch his breath. Luke's Adam's apple bobbed slightly. He stared at me, his eyes moist, as if confirming something. You said you're responsible for me? Yes. He got sick at my house. And it was because Auntie didn't prepare suitable pajamas for him, causing him to catch a cold. Of course, I had to take good care of him. He lowered his eyes, his breathing slightly erratic, and squeezed the rim of the cup, letting out a soft hum as if in compromise. Okay. After that, he no longer resisted my care. By afternoon, Luke was resting with his eyes closed on the sofa. I, leaning against the sofa with my head propped up, drifted off to sleep. I don't know how long passed, but a faint aroma wafted through the air. I slowly opened my eyes. The kitchen light was on. This time, the man had changed into slightly thicker loungewear, his sleeves rolled up, revealing the lines of his wrists. Light and shadow flickered. He stood with his back to me, his movements skilled, imbued with a quiet tenderness. In an instant, memories flooded back. The brief period we lived together during university. He believed that takeout and cafeteria food couldn't balance taste and health. He cooked for me almost every day. Back then, he stood in the kitchen, light and shadow intertwined. Today, he also stood in the kitchen. The two figures, their backs to me, overlapped. Almost instinctively, I spoke, Luke. The man's hand paused slightly, and he turned around. The light softened his brows and eyes, and a subtle, almost imperceptible look of surprise appeared on his usually cool face. At the same time, click, the front door opened. Mom, Grandpa, Grandma, and Auntie all neatly stepped into the living room. The hazy memories were instantly shattered. Several people stood at the door, watching Luke cook in the kitchen. Then they looked at me, who had just woken up from the sofa. Why are you home? Oh, he has a fever. I'm taking care of him. You're taking care of him? Then why is he cooking? In the kitchen, Luke came out with the dishes. His expression was, as usual, cool and dignified. It was as if the person who had a fever and was weak just now wasn't him, and the gentle person cooking in the kitchen wasn't him either. He placed the dishes on the dining table and said calmly, Jennifer, dinner. On the dining table, 3 dishes were neatly arranged. Mom was surprised. These are all Jennifer's favorite dishes. Old man, this cooking looks even better than yours. How is that possible? Grandpa, unconvinced, picked up a bite and chewed slowly. It's really good. Several pairs of eyes subtly fell on the person in the kitchen. Luke lowered his eyes and placed the last bowl of soup on the table. Do you want me to make a few more dishes? No need. Grandma waved her hand. We've already eaten out. That's what she said, but the dishes on the table smelled so good that bowls and chopsticks quickly filled the table. Mom looked at Luke, then at the food, and sighed. Oh, if it weren't for the partner Tony brought back, Grandma echoed. Indeed, everything is good. Everyone fell silent for a second, seemingly lost in somber thought. Then, it's all your fault. Grandma looked at Grandpa. A few days ago, for Chinese New Year, you arranged 21 blind dates for Tony, 3 every day from the 1st to the 7th. Now look, you forced Tony to turn gay. My fault again? Who arranged those 21 blind dates? You. Didn't you tell me to go to the temple to draw lots and ask God to show Tony a clear path? Then what were you doing arranging so many people after you came back? God told me to try more. The two argued back and forth, a heated exchange. At the dinner table, Luke calmly placed a piece of braised pork, rich with sauce, into my bowl. Eat, others argued. He ate. Others were shocked. He ate, as if he heard nothing. I poked the braised pork in my bowl with my chopsticks and couldn't help but whisper, Are you better? He didn't even lift his head. Better. Not uncomfortable anymore? He paused, then added, My body is fine. Oh, you're very perfunctory. I cleared my throat. I looked around and saw Grandma and Grandpa arguing. Mom and Auntie were trying to mediate. No one was paying attention to us at all, so I lowered my voice. Whether your body is fine or not, it's not like I don't know. Luke paused, twirling his chopsticks between his fingers, almost dropping them. His expression suddenly became unnatural. The tips of his ears flushed red, and after a moment, he grunted. Eat. In the afternoon, I drove him to the company. The man in the passenger seat was even quieter than usual. Why didn't you have your driver take you to the company? The driver is on vacation. All 4 drivers are on vacation. Yes, engagement vacation, newlywed vacation, tin anniversary vacation, porcelain anniversary vacation. How come I haven't heard of such good benefits at our company? Luke tilted his head, his voice slow. You get them if you come to my house. Work at your house? I pondered for a moment. Unfortunately, it's not my field. The passenger seat became even quieter. When we arrived at the company, we tacitly went our separate ways, continuing to pretend to be strangers. Who would have thought that as soon as I stepped through the company door, gossip would start to spread? Mr. Luke didn't come to the company in the morning, but in the afternoon, he got out of the car with a beautiful woman. I heard Mr. Luke got out of the passenger seat. I heard the beautiful woman also walked into the company door. She's also an employee of our company. I heard Mr. Fosen. Luke wore the same jacket today as yesterday. I heard Mr. Luke was flushed and unsteady on his feet today. The moment I sat down at my desk, everyone in the company gossip group reached a surprisingly unanimous conclusion. Mr. Luke. Could he be being kept? Jennifer, you're back at work? Who do you think would keep Mr. Luke? Kept? I looked at the blurry, pixelated long-distance photos someone in the group had daringly taken, my heart pounding. Luke is so rich, who could possibly keep him? Maybe it's just a normal friend? Coincidentally came to the company together? Impossible! My colleague furiously poked at the pixelated image on the screen. Look at Mr. Luke's expression when he looks at that woman. It's clearly complex and deeply affectionate. Then, maybe they're just a normal couple dating or something? What are you talking about? My colleague slammed the table. Unless it's for money, no one would want to date their boss or colleague, no matter how handsome they are. That's still more reasonable than being kept, right? Before I could argue further, a shadow suddenly fell over my desk. A slender, pale hand slowly placed a cup of hot tea in front of me. It was Luke. The office area was dead silent. Your period is coming soon. Drink less cold stuff, he said indifferently. Wait for me here after work. We'll go home together. Then he turned and left, leaving me and the entire office staring at each other. I stared at the hot tea, silent for 2 seconds. A few messages floated through the group chat. I know who's keeping Mr. Luke. It's Jennifer from the design department. No doubt about it. Jennifer didn't come to work this morning either. His clothes and hairstyle are also the same as in the picture. 1,000 words converged into one sentence. Jennifer, you're amazing. My colleague gripped my hand. Ah, Jennifer, why didn't you tell me about such an important matter? What are you talking about? Luke suddenly returned, his gaze falling on my hand clasped with my female colleague's. My female colleague immediately let go in a panic. Mr. Luke, we're talking about. My phone was on a desk, and the group chat messages were scrolling rapidly, making it hard not to notice. Luke lowered his head and slowly read one of them. Who is that, Jennifer? To be able to keep Mr. Luke. I frantically waved my hands. They're just joking. Don't take it seriously, and don't get angry. Luke was silent for a moment. Then he suddenly curled his lips slightly, a hint of an almost imperceptible smile flashing in his eyes. Why should I be angry? They're absolutely right. You, Jennifer, are now keeping me. Luke left. The entire office exploded. Jennifer, Mr. Luke is telling the truth, isn't he? Jennifer, are you really keeping Mr. Luke as your sugar baby? Jennifer, how much does it cost to keep Mr. Luke? No, I didn't. I was speechless. No one believed me. In the end, I could only say with a straight face, how to keep him. How much does it cost? Sorry, I'm not obligated to share. Sis, let's align on the details. How's everything at home? Any suspicions? None, so far. So, are they regretting it? Do they feel guilty towards me? Do they miss me, long for me, and desperately want me back, willing to do anything for my return? My fingers paused. After much editing, I finally typed 2 words. Before. Before? What do you mean? I looked up, and the scene in the living room came into view. Grandma was taking pictures of Luke with her phone. She was muttering about sending the handsome young man's photos to the aunties in her square dancing group. Grandpa patted his shoulder and sighed. Luke, young people should eat more. Look at your physique. Much stronger than that kid, Tony. The auntie brought him a plate of fruit. Here, eat more. Mom pondered for a moment. He's just a bit cold-tempered. That's called being steady. Much better than Tony's impulsiveness. In just a few days, the perfect Luke had replaced and even surpassed Tony's position in the family. Even my mom, satisfied, said, Luke, forget Tony. You stay with us and be our son. Luke gently put down his teacup, his voice calm. I also want to be family with you. But not in this capacity. The air was silent for 3 seconds. Grandpa suddenly trembled and wailed. Do you also deeply love Tony? No. Grandma, actually, Tony and I. Wait, my 5 million. And an apartment. Before Luke betrays my brother, I must at least win him over. Before Luke could explain more, I abruptly stood up and in full view of everyone dragged him into my room. The door closed, cutting off everything. Luke's Adam's apple bobbed. So eager. I took a deep breath. Mimicking how he had been with me earlier, my hand slowly moved upwards. Finally, I clasped his shoulder and gently pressed him against the wall. The distance between us closed. Our breaths intertwined. Burning hot. I pleaded. Can you not tell them yet? What? Just, don't tell them yet that you're the person my brother hired to pretend. Are you that concerned about your brother? Not really. I gritted my teeth and simply admitted. I promised my mom. As long as I successfully steal my brother's girlfriend and make you fall for me, my mom will give me 5 million and an apartment. Luke stared at me, seemingly deep in thought. Then, his thin lips parted slightly, his tone flat. Then, kiss me. It was like a threat, yet also a gentle coaxing. Kiss me, and I won't tell them yet. Kiss where? Where do you want to kiss? I stood on tiptoe and lightly touched his cheek. Is that enough? Wrong kiss. Not here. But you said I could kiss wherever I wanted. That doesn't mean your kiss is the right answer. His voice dropped even lower. Never mind. I'll do it. My wrist was easily freed. The next second, his palm cupped my chin, his hands carefully holding my face. His warm breath descended. Our lips slowly met. It was the long-lost wetness and heat. It was the emotional resonance etched deep within my body. It was the echo of a dream in the middle of the night, suddenly becoming real. My waist was held by his hand, steadily pressed against him. His fingertips dug deep into my dimples of Venus, with a hint of force. The gaps were sealed, and the sound of water was faint. My chin was gently lifted, the angle guided, and the kiss deepened. My thoughts swayed. My legs went weak, and I leaned into his embrace until he finally let go. His lips were slightly red, and his eyes were deep. You succeeded. Succeeded at what? At making me fall for you. My dizzy brain couldn't react yet. Well, what? At making me fall for you. It never stopped. As soon as he finished speaking, a second kiss swept over me. More intense than before, it completely engulfed me without warning. His hand slid up from my waist, gently caressing the skin on my back, sending a shiver down my spine. His fingertips tangled in my hair, tightening slightly. Our lips and teeth ground together, our breaths ragged. The burning warmth of his throat pressed against my ear, carrying a fervent tremor. I wanted to ask you why you broke up with me. I wanted to ask you why you left me. I used to be so fixated on the answer, but now it seems it doesn't matter. He pressed his forehead against mine, his breathing even more disordered. Whether it was for 5 million or a house, whatever the reason, as long as you are willing to come close to me, as long as you can let me stay by your side. I have a lot of money, and I have a lot of houses. I can give you everything I own. Can I? It was too sudden. I don't think I'm ready yet. My heart was pounding wildly in my chest. It took a long time to regain a shred of sanity amidst the frantic beating. All the past events came flooding back to me. Finally, they merged with Luke, the one I was holding. I spoke with difficulty, forcing myself not to look at him. Then you said, you liked me. Luke was visibly stunned. I turned my head further. Never mind. It's okay if you don't say it. Luke, like all the domineering CEOs named Dawson in the world, had a less than harmonious upbringing. No one gave him love. No one taught him love. Children who don't grow up in love will lack the ability to express it. This deficiency might accompany him throughout his life. That's why he never said, I like you, and even less, I love you. I was young then, and mistakenly thought that not expressing affection meant the other person was reluctant in the relationship. So, after 2 years of dating him, I angrily walked away. Only later did I understand that liking someone isn't just about saying, I like you, and promising I'll love you forever doesn't mean they'll actually keep that promise. Actions are always more important than words. Time and time again, in countless small details, I belatedly confirmed Luke truly did like me back then. Sometimes I regret missing out. But now, by chance, he's back in my life. So, it's okay if I can't express love. It's not impossible to try again with him, Jennifer. I like you. His kiss fell softly. Jennifer, I love you. The kisses grew more frequent, until both of us were breathless again. He carefully looked at me. Is it because of this? Luke hugged me tight. My neck was damp with his tears. I'm sorry. Old hag, don't push. Ow. Are you trying to kill me? You old geezer, you stepped on my foot. Mom! Dad! Quiet down! We'll be discovered! Outside the door, there was a rustling sound of chaos. The intimacy in the room vanished instantly. Luke's brow still held the lingering warmth of unspent emotion. He raised a hand to cover the corner of his eye, seemingly trying to compose himself. Too late. The commotion outside the door grew louder, as if they were about to burst in. I quickly wiped away the dampness from the corner of his eye. Taking a deep breath, I yanked open the door. "What are you all doing?" Grandma said righteously. "Eavesdropping." Grandpa patted his clothes. "Exactly. You're allowed to poach your brother's girlfriend, but we, as elders, aren't allowed to eavesdrop?" Mom crossed her arms, her face full of mock sorrow. "I knew it would be this exciting. I should have brought 2 bags of melon seeds." For a moment, our eyes met. The air was silent for a few seconds. My face felt a little hot. "You all heard?" "Yes. From beginning to end. Don't worry. Don't fret about not getting 5 million. Grandma patted my shoulder with a smile. "Grandma's property deeds? I'll give them all to you and Luke to play cards with later." Luke took a step forward, his fingertips gently closing around my hand. He took a deep breath and spoke. "Grandma, Mom, Grandpa, I'm sorry. I cooperated with Tony and pretended to be the person he brought home. He didn't bend. Just to resist your urging to marry. You don't have to apologize." Grandma waved her hand suddenly. "You are so good, you must be forced. That little rascal Tony must have exploited your feelings for Jennifer to force you to cooperate." "Exactly. What can't that kid Tony do?" Grandpa nodded. Mom mused. "I've reviewed his behavior over the past 29 years, and it's quite possible." "Look," Grandma waved her hand. "Luke, you must have been threatened. You've had a tough time, my child. Being bullied like this by us Delaney's?" Grandpa patted Luke's shoulder, looking like, "I understand you. Don't worry about Tony's business. From now on, you're one of us." "Jennifer, when are you and Luke getting engaged? When are you getting married?" I blushed and held my head. "We haven't even gotten back together. I haven't said yes to him yet." The few of them exchanged glances. First, they looked at Luke. Then they all looked at me. "There's no time like the present. Now say yes to him." Group chat. 4-on-1 targeted poverty alleviation. Invincible Jennifer invited Luke to join the group chat. Invincible Jennifer changed the group name to 5-on-1 targeted poverty alleviation. "Welcome. Welcome new member to the group. We have a new member in the Delaney family. Congratulations." Fist bump, fist bump. Ping and Shifu. "Who is this person? No. Isn't this Luke? You've already accepted him?" "Yes. He's a man." "Yes. No. Listen to me. I'm not with him. It's all an act." "An act?" "Yes. What do you mean?" "Luke. Peace and blessings. Brother-in-law, good morning. Mom said you don't need to come home. Just stay out there and relax. Peace and blessings." "Huh? What's going on?" "Wait a minute. Peace and blessings has been removed from the group chat.